Oh, hello there, you lovely lot. Welcome back to another fantastic show here on Crafters TV. It is New Year's Eve. It feels, Debbie, no doubt like the festivities have been going on forever now at this point.
They've just been amazing, haven't they?
Absolutely. I bet the cupboards are bare now. There isn't any chocolate, cheese, all the leftover turkey has no doubt finished and gone. But don't worry, because our cupboards are full here at Crafters TV. We've got a fantastic Colour Me Happy show for you, which we have pre-recorded especially to go out on this New Year's Eve before you all start having a little tipple. We've got absolutely loads coming up throughout the show as well. Debbie is here with me, which is always lovely. Debbie, what can we expect from the next hour or so?
Do you know what? I'm really excited about this hour. Not only are we going into New Year for you, because New Year's Eve is just such a lovely time of the year, almost, well, you don't want to get rid of the old, because actually it's not been a bad year, Joe.
I mean, we've had better, but you know.
We've had better, but we have to be positive.
We're
going to go into a better year, but we're going to go into it with some colouring, because we've got a brilliant Colour Me Happy. We have loads of things. In fact, I'm a bit worried we're even going to get through it all in the next hour. But honestly, we've got our classiques, we've got our illustrators, we've got water pens, we've got aqua pens.
Imagine these pens have only got water in them.
Yeah, just water pens. But we've also got glitter markers. Honestly, just have a look for what we've got on the show. We won't get through it all, but we're going to show as much as possible in the next hour, which is going to be great.
Absolutely, we have pre-recorded the show especially for you to go out on New Year's Eve. So what I would say is just check the website for the most up-to-date stock information. And there's absolutely loads in the show, as Debbie said. We've got you really well covered. A great chance for you to stock up if maybe you got some of those Christmas pennies. It would be a great time to treat yourself. What I want to talk to you about is what our main focus is for the next hour. It is going to be some of our incredible markers, and we've got a little bit of everything for you, which is brilliant. So you've got the aqua markers there, as you can see on the top shelf. You also have, of course, our classic markers and our illustrators as well. So our real hero products, a holy trinity when it comes to our alcohol markers. We're going to kick things off with the classic markers. Now definitely go and have a little look on the website for all the different options for you. You've got loads of the 12 packs available to you. This is how they come to you. They're a dual tipped marker as well, and they give you the most amazing blending. You can get incredible depth and dimension with these as well. They are one of our all-time most popular Spectrum Noir products, which is incredible. So make sure you go and snap those up. What I would say as well is there's lots of other bits over on the website you might want to check out. Lots of tools, lots of consumables, loads of ink pads. There is loads of deals, and also there is a fantastic winter sale which has already kicked off with up to 70% off selected lines. So make sure you go and grab yourself a bargain with all of those Christmas pennies that you've no doubt got. Right, Debbie, I know we're going to click things off with classic, kind of where it all began for us, really, isn't it? Sort of the longest running when it comes to our alcohol markers.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Our classics are the ones that were the first colouring system that put everything in that mindset of knowing what you were doing. Because alcohol colouring can be quite mind-boggling, if I'm honest. I remember when I first picked up an alcohol marker, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, I didn't have a Spectrum Noir one. I used another brand, and that's how I started my sort of colouring journey with alcohol markers. And the first thing that you will notice, so if you are new to colouring and you've never used alcohol markers before, what you will notice is the massive difference for going from a felt tip pen to an alcohol colouring marker, because there's not that gap filler. You are going from this level to this level. Yeah, straight away. They are juicy, they are full of colour, they are vibrant. If you just want to learn some colouring, get your markers, just try one colour at a time, because the lay down of them, and I will show you, let me grab another piece of card, because the lay down of these markers are quite incredible. Now what you'll notice first of all, if we look down on here, you've got two nibs. You've got your bullet nib and you've got your chisel nib on these. So if I open up both sides, you can see. Now, depending on what you want to colour, these are your beginner markers for filling in. So if I go straight down, look at the lay down of this colour, Joe. It is absolutely
it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, really amazing. Now, if I keep going over that, eventually we're going to start pooling, because you can't lay down more than the card will take. So if I turn it over, can you see it's starting to seep through? This is why you always colour onto something, then you won't get any pooling that comes back into your image. Now, if you just want your bullet marker, you literally just have that smaller bullet nib on there, which is amazing. So you've got those two nibs. So that's the first thing about these. If you're colouring large images or large amount of spaces, you do want that chisel nib. You can also refill these. If you get yourself one of those little zippy lock bags, turn it inside out, take this bullet nib out, you can refill it. We do the refillable inkers, they're called re-inkers, and you just put a couple of drops in there. The other thing to remember about them is to keep them equalised. Never store your pens like that in a pot. You want to always store them flat. We do cases for them, we do little shelving units for them, but always keep them flat, and it equalises, which means the ink will be at both sides of your marker every single time. If you were to leave it like that, all you're going to get once, and not when they're new, because they're absolutely full to the brim with ink, but they will start to go just one side. So just keep them equalised by having them horizontal. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually colour an image and see how they work. Now, in your pen sets, whether you go for the smaller pen sets or the larger ones, you'll get different colours. So I'm using my purples. Now, straight away you can see, if I put them in order, we've got a PL2, a PL3 and a PL4. So it actually means that we've got different colours of the same family that are going to blend really well together. And this is where we've took all that hard work out of it. So we're going to start off with our PL2, which is our violet, and we're just going to start by laying in that colour to our flower. So again, I'm leaning on an actual piece of card.
Lots of different options here for you, Debbie, as well. We've got 12 packs on the show. There's a whole host of different 6-piece ones over there too. Nice that with these configurations as well, they're organised almost sort of into project packs, aren't they? So if you're someone that loves to do landscapes, then there's a pack obviously for you allowed to do that. If you love nature and forest scenes, then you've got a pack that's going to allow you to do that. I think sometimes it's nice to know which colours are going to work together off the bat, and that's what these packs do, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, and it's what makes it really easy. The packs are just incredible. Oh, and another thing, Joe, there's never doubles in them.
Awesome.
So whatever packs you buy, so if you buy sort of the big 12 packs or you go for the smaller packs, it will always be different colours. What they are is they're gap fillers. So where I'm using the purple family here, and we've got the 3, 4 and 5, or the 2, 3 and 4, the other ones will fill those gaps in.
Excellent.
So if there is 8 in that collection, once you fill up those collections, but it doesn't mean just having these packs, those three colours won't go together, because they absolutely will. So what we're doing here is we're building up our 3 colours. So we've used our 2 and our 3, and then I'm going to go in with the 4, and we just use, you can see this is our darkest colour, just going into that centre. And then what I'm going to do is blend that out. So if we come in here, we're going to go down again to our PL2, blend that colour over, and that one just on the edges, because that's starting to blend in, and then we're going to go in with our lightest colour. So just bring in all of this in, and that will just give that just real depth of colour. Now, what I also want to do, Joe, is I'm not going to finish doing that one. I'm actually going to bring in my finished one. So let's bring this in. So once it's all done,
oh, nice.
How beautiful is that? And you can see it's just by adding all those layers in. But what I do want to bring in is I want to bring in some pencils, which may seem a little bit odd. Now, we do colour blend pencils. These are absolutely incredible because they work on their own. So I'm going to show you that. I'm just going to bring in a little image here. Let's go to our pink, so we're going to go to our florals, and let's just start blending in some colour on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm using my pencil by coming down. The further down the pencil you are, the less pressure you're putting down. So you're putting a really light layer of and each time you go up the pencil, you'll actually find that the image will get darker, and that's how you layer it down, and the more you come up, it'll more intensify, because your pressure is more as you come down. So then you start just blending in these colours over the top. So we can sort of come into this one. So these are blendable pencils that will blend into each other.
Right.
They're layerable, Joe, so you have to take your time.
So do they essentially create new colours then if you blend two together?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, in fact, should we do that? Let's do that, Joe, now you've said that. So let's go with colours that we know that will blend. Oh, let's have, let's just do blue and yellow. I had to think then on the spot what colours blend together. So we've got blue and yellow.
You're asking the wrong person, Debbie. I'm terrible with which it's always brown, mine.
Right, now I know you're not going to colour the leaves this colour, but let's just go in with a really sort of soft lay down of the blue. And then we can go over the top here and start layering down that yellow over the top. So not that you
see it going greeny already.
Yeah, you can, absolutely. And then we can layer that blue down. And this is a really nice way of showing how they work amazingly well and why they're called colour blend. And let's go in with that yellow.
And these are different to the kind of colouring pencils we'd use again as a child, aren't they? These are sort of artist quality, we call these at craft prices, don't we?
They are absolutely artist quality and you're going to love them. So you can use them on their own. So look at that, Joe. I mean, how amazing is that we're able to blend those two completely opposite colours and get such a beautiful lay down.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. And that shows the quality of these pencils. But what I do want to show is how you can overlay them on top of your image. So if we bring this one back in here, I'm going to take a completely different colour. So let's go for like a deep magenta here. So this one is geranium. We can actually go in and start adding and building up an extra colour.
Oh, wow.
It's just a beautiful thing to do. It's being really creative. It's enabling you to go in and completely alter something and give it even more richness and dimension.
It's like high definition for your colouring, isn't it?
Absolutely. Didn't you say, wasn't it you before that said it was like having a filter on your... well, it might have not been you.
I think that was the blending solution we were talking about.
Oh, that was it, yes. So you can use blending solution and you can use blending solution over the top of the pencils. Now, because that's purple and I've used the pink, I want to then take a purple and I want to start blending that in with my
It's almost
purple.
like when you're alcohol colouring, you're putting the colour into the card, aren't you? You're putting it to the back of the medium that you're working on, and then the pencil comes along and then you start to build the colours up and the dimension in the other direction.
Yes.
So it feels like it really gives it, if it is dimension and shading that you're afterwards, the two together, just a beautiful, beautiful match.
Oh, absolutely. And I would say if you can afford for your pennies to go that little bit further, you know, you might have some Christmas money, you don't know what to treat yourself with, this is just an incredible way to do it. I mean, look at this, Joe, how this is now looking.
Amazing.
And it's given us such a real depth into our flowers. And it just adds interest, it adds that extra thing that you want to do when you're colouring. It's mindful, isn't it, which is lovely. And you get such satisfaction out of doing this, which is incredible. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit more on these ones and then we'll just quickly put our card together. And we're going to do it really quick. All I'm doing is matte and layering onto some black cardstock and then we're just going to pop this onto our card with a sentiment. But I love this adding definition, building up that texture, and we've took that to a whole new level. I also like the fact that you give that sort of almost shine on it as well. Look at that. I mean, that's
beautiful.
Just gorgeous, isn't it? So let's quickly pop this one together and that will give us our first one. But it just shows you mix and match your products. You know, your alcohol markers work absolutely. I mean, they are a marriage made in heaven, aren't they?
They really are. Remember, with the 12 piece, you can go for the floral, the nature, the pastel, the vintage, the design, the textile, the industrial, as well. As always, we have pre-recorded the show especially for you, so do check the website for the current stock situazione, which is how I believe they say situation in Italian. They probably don't say it like that, but I think you can make anything sound Italian by just putting a Z and an one on the end, Debbie, don't you think?
Well, that's, yeah, very true.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to matte and layer that, Joe, onto the front of our card. And there we go. We've got our beautiful, very understated, but a card with so much definition in there. So there we go.
Really, really beautiful. Make sure you are grabbing a hold of those. I think if it is maybe one of your, Debbie, New Year's resolutions.
Oh.
I'm going to ask you about yours in a moment. If you maybe do have a resolution, maybe just about, this is going to be about finding more time for you and having time for yourself, then colouring's a great way to do that. We do have the 12 pieces available over on the website. There are some 6 pieces over there. They've all got a 10% discount on them, and there are loads of items for you available too in the winter sale is what I would add. We're going to move on. I'm going to talk about watercolours now, and for that we're going to focus on these ones just here, our Tricolour Aqua markers. Now these are fantastic because these are they are 4 different options for you. They are in 3 packs, but they are put together in such a clever way. Let me show you that now. So each pack, for instance, so take the Colour Basics, has 3 different pens in there. Each of these pens and the way they're put together has been curated so as they blend together absolutely seamlessly. So I think that sometimes the difficulty with watercolouring is knowing the colours that go together. For me personally, that's the case always, because I'm terrible with colour families and how you get one colour from another. So you know that if you use these 3 pens together, they're not going to muddy or brown. The other great thing is that these are all complementary colours. So if you just want to take this one pack of them and do a project with that, you're going to have something that looks amazing. So your Colour Basics gives you the warm primary, the cool primary, and the complementary. Then you've got the Great Outdoors, and that's going to give you botanical, natural, cool marine, and the rich floral. You've got the essential neutrals, and in there you've got the earthy neutral, the rich neutral, and the grey neutral. And then finally, my favourite, the floral meadow. Love that pop of colour. And in here you've got the bright floral, the warm fiery, and the fresh verdant as well. Any New Year's resolutions for you then, Debbie?
Well, I have to be honest, Joe, I don't make them.
You don't make them?
I don't make them.
You can't break them if you don't make them.
Exactly, yeah. I so admire people that do them, but for me, a resolution should be all year round. If you want to do something, get in that mindset, because I think one day of the year doesn't make you do that.
If I did that though, I'd just fail at fail all year round then.
Oh. Are you one of these people, Joe, that does a resolution just to fail?
Not really, no. I think when I set my mind to something, I'm quite like, I'll get it done. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going to learn to sew next year. That's what I'm going to do.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm going to learn to sew. I've wanted to do it for ages, so I think next year's the year for me.
Dressmaker?
Sorry? Dressmaker? I'm thinking fabulous outfits, yes.
Yeah, oh, I like that. I'm thinking I'll be your model.
You can be my model?
Yeah, you can pin me.
Thanks. Anyway, less of that. Let's go back to the pens.
Yes, so... That's a very good expression, was he could pin me. Pinned clothes onto me, that would have been better. But I'm making it worse, I'm just digging a hole, aren't I? There you go. My New Year's resolution is to be more mindful of what I'm saying. Right, so we're going to go on to the Tricolour Aquas. I love these pens, I have to say. I know we have all these different pens on, but I do love the ones that have the 3 in them. So whether you're using your colour, your tri-blend markers, which are alcohol, or your Tricolour. Now I've picked these ones, which is our grey neutrals. It means that we have 3 colours of grey in this one. It doesn't mean all the pens work in that same way. If I bring a different one in here, Joe, we then have this one here where we have our gold, we have our crimson and our sunset. So we have a yellow, a red and an orange. So completely different colours, but they are all going to blend effortlessly together. Again, Spectrum Noir have done the job of making it easy for you to colour. Now what's lovely about these pens, we're going to start off with doing the actual, I've already stamped out an image. We're going to start with doing the watering can. I'm going to do a grey. Now we have 3 different colours of grey, so if I put them down onto my mat here, all I'm going to do is draw them onto my mat. Now this is the easiest way to colour with the pens, anything watercoloured rather than directly down, because even though they're watercolour pens, if you was to take your pen directly to the paper, although you could draw out some of that colour, the colour would just absorb into that, because this paper is made, I say paper, this is watercolour cardstock. It's made to absorb and take any weight of your water. You could tip water over this card and it would not buckle, it would not like flake up, you wouldn't get sort of, do you know what sometimes, Joe, if you paint onto cardstock that's not really made for watercolours, it goes bobbly and you
like
get all
peeling,
the little,
isn't it?
like peeling of the card. card. You won't get that with watercolour cardstock, so you definitely want to go for some of that. Now, the other easy thing I like is using our sparkle pen. Not only does it give you a great sparkle, but also it's less messy. You haven't got to get a water brush, you haven't got to wash brushes out. You literally have a brush nib on here. I'm going to pick up my lightest colour to start with, so I'm just putting that sparkle in there, and we're just going to paint that straight across the middle section. So that's going to give us our lay down.
The pigment goes in these as
I know,
well. I'm always blown away by no matter how
incredible.
much you draw them out, you're still going to get that wonderful colour.
Yeah, it's just amazing, and I love using the sparkle. Then we're going to go in with the next colour, because we can also add that shade. So like we would do with any sort of colouring where we flick that colour into it, because we've got a sort of sphere shape here, so we want to get that dimension, we want to build up that colour coming in. So flicking that into the centre is creating that dimension. So again, we're just going to come in the opposite way, turn your card round so you're flicking away from you. It's always the easiest way to do it, rather than go in, because then you don't get such a light stroke. So you can keep sort of building that up. So you can see already, look at the dimension.
Beautiful.
We're building that. But if when we go in, Joe, and pick up the darkest colour, be a little bit less heavy-handed with this one. We're just going to flick where we think that darker shade would be. So coming in, and don't think because you've just laid down some, you can't keep reworking it and going over it. What I love about watercolour is it's very forgiving. If you don't like something, or you do something that just doesn't look right, literally put some clear down again and you can blot it and start again. So we're just going to keep just building up that colour, and don't worry when you first do it, you might not like the results when it's first happening. Then what you're going to do is go back in with that, the next darkest colour, and start blending that through again, because it's just going to all give that dimension and help you build up all that insert. And then we're going to go in and put that lightest colour right down the middle just to blend that all in, and then you start getting that beautiful dimension. So let's pop then our colour onto here. And you could do this, so I'm doing it with the clear sparkle, Joe, but you don't have to do it with a sparkle brush. You can do it with a normal one. And in fact, I want to make that a bit dark. I want to give some real definition around there. So let's just bring in some more darkness to the sides. Make it a little bit more sort of rustic. I mean, browns would be good for here. I sort of use a lighter grey in my main demo, but or in my finished card. But it just means that you can sort of really build that up, which is lovely.
And also what's lovely about watercolour is also the sort of different techniques you can do, Debbie, isn't there? So of course they're great for colouring, but you know, so many different things. Even wonderful things like bubble wrap we see used, don't we? Salt, all sorts of different things.
Oh, so many, Joe. There is so many different things you can do. The other thing is, I have done it before, not long ago before Christmas. We was using the kitchen towel. So if you was to put your colour down on your mat and spritz it with water, you can then dip your kitchen towel in it, and it almost makes like a rice paper where you can wrap it around things, you can use it as backgrounds. So lots of different ways that you can do it. So using your pens, if you do want to use it directly to your actual card, we can put that in the middle, and then we can, oh, no I can't, just gonna, now there you go, just gonna, little tip there, Joe, when you are using a colour, make sure you then wipe the bottom to... you
don't want a dirty brush.
You don't want a dirty brush, yeah. So you can see, just add in a tiny bit onto there. We can start blending that colour out as well. So it does go a long way, and let's just bring in another one. So let's just add in the centre there. You can see I'm hardly using any, and then we can go in and just blend that out. So just creating all those different colours on there. But you're right, so if you wanted to do a background wash, and oh, I was saying, why would that go on? I'm doing this, look, with my pen, and it was actually, it's the wrong lid. Let's put my right lids on, there we go. Happy New Year, everyone. Yeah, your colour washes. So I'm going to bring it in. Let me bring in, no, I haven't got it with me, so it doesn't matter. We're going to just pop this on here. If you want to then create shading around, so let me just bring some different colours. And I'm going to just add a green to that as well. Let's do that bird green. And then we're just going to mix those a bit. So I'm going to bring in these and that green, and then just do a really light wash around the edge. So just around here, bring a little bit more of that blue. So it doesn't look much at the time, but then clear your brush. I've put far too much ink on there. Once you clear your brush and you just go in with that, with the clear, you can really blend that out to get a beautiful background that takes no time at all. And look how far that goes, Joe, just to really work that out and have a beautiful background in there.
Really beautiful.
Yeah, and just doing that round the edges. So I'm going to bring in my finished card. So once you've done it, I've just put that together, and you can see, and if I sort of move that, you can see all that sort of sparkle and glitter. Bring that round, and then that gives us our beautiful finished crown. And you can see I've just very lightly done the background on that one, and it looks amazing. But they're just great pens to have, and I love that fact, like you were saying, use them for all those different background techniques, salt technique, cling film, bubble wrap. It's just amazing.
Yeah, really, really good. If you want something that is a minimal investment, that's going to give you a lot of colours and the ability to create a lot of different styles and techniques, and I think our tricolour aquas are definitely that for you. So you've got 4 different collections here for you at the moment. Also, as I said, please do check the website for the stock situation. We have especially pre-recorded this show for you to go out on New Year's Eve. Talking of New Year's Eve, how do you normally spend your New Year's Eve, Debbie? Do you have any sort of traditions?
Well, not really. We just do whatever's going on, to be honest. I would say most of the time we're always at home. Very rarely go out. I think with having young children and then just doing New Year's Eve, we always had quite big parties. Right. We did a big Hollywood themed party one year.
Nice.
Yeah, I went as a Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
When I look at you, I must say I don't immediately think Jack Sparrow, but it sounds good.
More a female version of Pirates.
Jacqueline Sparrow.
Jacqueline Sparrow, yeah. So we've always had big parties, and now the kids are older, it's just a case if they're about, they come round, or we sort of have a games night, or yeah, it's all good. We're just having a games night and having family round tonight.
Oh, it'd be absolutely lovely.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet. I haven't quite made my mind up. One year though, we were talking earlier before the show about strange customs in different countries. I once went to Spain to stay with a friend that was living there for New Year, and they have this thing where you eat 12 grapes at midnight. So when there's the first gong at midnight, you eat a grape, and then you eat a grape every time the bell.
Can I just ask what that represents?
Not a clue.
Oh, okay.
But what I will tell you is, don't do what I do and nearly choke, because I'd gone to supermarkets to get the grapes, and the one I got had these whacking great seeds in them. So I'm trying to eat them, but trying to not eat the seeds at midnight.
Oh, no.
After a couple of crianzas, it was quite the scene, Debbie. We're going to move on. We're going to have a little look now at our illustrators. These are fabulous. These are the top of the tree when it comes to the creme de la creme, the Rolls Royce when it comes to our alcohol markers. They are absolutely amazing, and there are so many artists out there. Make sure actually you're following the Spectrum Noir Instagram page as well. There's lots of incredible inspiration over there, but a lot of really well-renowned artists have used these pens. They are brilliant, especially for things like texture. Again, they're coming to you in the 12 pieces, these, and there's lots of different options for you over on the website. Things like Delicate, Vintage, Verdant, the Fiery, Aquatics, a whole host of them over there for you. Again, a dual-ended marker as well. Debbie, we talk about these ones, don't we? We talk about them being really special, the Illustrator markers. What is it that makes them so special?
Well, the first thing that makes them just the absolute elite of alcohol markers are the brush nib. So the brush nib on these are our Japanese brush nib. And these are the pens that I so wish I could put into someone's hand, Joe, because when you start using them, you will know straight away how special these pens absolutely are. If you love your alcohol colouring, you've got the classic or you've got the tri-blend, and you just want to get yourself into something a little bit more special, especially if you like doing hair, skin, animal fur. So if you love colouring animals, these are perfect. So what the technique on these are, I would say, is the flicking, because the brush nib is very soft. In fact, if I just turn my card round, let's use this piece here. If I turn this round, you can see as soon as excuse me, as soon as you push it down, look how flexible that nib is. It just bends. You probably can't see too well because I've got a dark colour there, but it's a really flexible nib. It means when we then, so I'm going to bring this round, and also what I wanted to show, Joe, is colouring onto different mediums. So colouring onto, this is like a craft card, but it's just a sort of thinner version. It was called Nina Desert, but you'll probably buy it on the internet. But any sort of cardstock that you've got, these will work really well on. So I'm going to use the raw sienna. Now straight away, all I want to do is create some highlights in here. So flick in into that hairline. And this is the real nice technique. It takes a little bit of practice, but once you do it, you'll see such amazing results.
What I couldn't get over with that nib is, yes, it is very, very soft, but very robust as well. You can really put some pressure through that, can't you?
Yeah, real pressure. Yeah, absolutely. They are amazing nibs to use. And it really is what sets them apart from everyone else. Also, if you do love to draw and you're someone that does illustrating, it's got a really fine bullet nib, and that is amazing. It means that you can do all that really fine hand drawing with everything that you've got in there, and I absolutely love that about these pens. So both of these nibs are very different to the nibs that you've got in the Classic, so that's what sets them apart. So again, all you're going to do is use that same technique of blending, but this time we're just doing that flicking technique through the hair, and then I'm going to switch. So this, I've got a GB, which is our gold brown. I've got a 7 and a 9, so I'm switching up the colours. I'm going to still go in with the nib. I love the fact, Joe, that we've got the pictures on, so you never have to open the wrong nib, because I used to do that all the time. And then you can see, look, we're going in with that darker colour over the top. Look at this definition that we're then being able to get, and that real softness that frames the face of this image. And you'll find that on any stamps that you've got like this, where you really want to practice on your hair. Little heads up, shouldn't really say, but coming out this, well, I say I shouldn't really say, and then I'm going to say, so I'm sure it's fine, but I won't tell you exactly. We have some really amazing images coming out this year. Stamps.
Images?
Stamps that
We're just teasing us now, Debbie,
aren't we? I am just teasing you, but it is New Year. We want things to look forward to, don't we? And you're going to absolutely love them. And can I just say, these pens are going to be amazing. So get ahead of the game, get yourself some Illustrator, and they're going to work so well. And you'll know, I'll give you a heads up when they do come out. But we do have some just amazing stamps coming out that are going to really lend themselves so well to these pens. So just continuing around here, you're just going to go, I love this image. It's on one of our CD-ROMs. And it's, I always call it the shush image, but I don't think it's called the shush image.
Right.
Because she looks like she's going shh.
She does.
So, but yeah, she is on one of our images that you can colour on one of our...
She's got excellent cheekbone structure, isn't she, this lady?
Amazing, isn't she?
I mean,
yeah, really amazing.
She's a beauty.
Right, so I'm not going to do too much more of her hair. I do have a finished one, but I just want to show you how these pens lay down. But even if you want to go into small details, so let's take two of our purples here. So I've got a PL2 and a PL4. So we can sort of go in. So let's say I want to go in with a sort of soft colour onto here. You can still just colour, but that brush is so flexible. It's giving me an enormous amount of lay down very quickly. But it's creating just a beautiful lay down of colour. Now this is being done, like I say, on like a craft card, and it's still going down. Look at the vibrancy that we are still getting from here. It's just incredible. But if you want to go in, awesome. Even with that small nib, we can then go down.
Amazing, amazing to think of the amount of colour you're getting. Because alcohol markers, I'm thinking they're a translucent ink, aren't they, Debbie?
Yes.
Yeah, look at how well that's covering on a darker cardstock. So the pigment in here must be off the chart.
It is off the chart, absolutely. And it's just beautiful to use. These pens, honestly, what I would say is if you're not sure, just grab yourself one pack, just one pack. Because I absolutely guarantee you will want more, because they're that good. They're so lovely to use, they're soft. As soon as I picked these, I remember when we had the Illustrator, and I remember saying to Leanne, why do we need another alcohol marker? And she said, Debbie, just colour with it. literally, she put it in my hand, and that's why I always say that phrase, I wish I could put it in someone's hand, because I couldn't believe it, Joe. They were amazing. Smiling over
Sorry,
there.
just having a moment to myself over here. No, they are absolutely. Get them home and try them. Try colouring with them. Maybe you've been using some, cheap alternatives. Maybe you haven't tried Spectrum Noir yet. I think the other great thing as well, isn't it, that everything is sort of designed for Spectrum Noir as well, Debbie, which I think is really important. Hear Leanne talking all the time about things like proprietary ink formulations. This is all key and specific to Spectrum Noir and has been developed by us, which is why it's also amazing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. And they just work really well, don't they? I think if you're someone that loves your colouring, and colouring has become so mindful, hasn't it? Well, it's always been mindful, but I think it's becoming a hobby that people really want to do because it takes them away from everyday things.
I think maybe we understand the importance and the significance of it a bit more,
yes,
don't we?
Absolutely.
And understanding making time for yourself, which is great. And colouring is definitely that. It's that sort of repetitive motion of it that is quite pleasing. Shut the door. Turns all the music, or all the music, like you're having a rave every day, you know what I mean? But, turn any distractions off is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I expect you don't live in a nightclub, but turn all the distractions off and just have a moment, just in some peace and quiet. Just take half an hour for yourself when you can, a few times a week, and I think you'll really thank yourself for it.
Yeah.
And also you're making something amazing as well at the same time. You're making something gorgeous that you're going to be able to do something with if you're a crafter.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so these ones, we're going to finish this one off, Joe, and I'm just going to bring in my finished cards. So once you've built up all that colour, even being able to do that on a coloured cardstock with these pens just shows you how elite they are. They are super amazing. And again, if you've gone for the colour blend pencils, they will work extremely well over the top of these and just look beautiful.
They really, really will. We're going to move on. Remember, the Illustrator are available to you. Lots of 12 packs there, $22.49 or $40.45 if you're in the US. Going to move on to one of our most recent launches now, and I absolutely love these. I know you guys do as well. They are our glitter markers, and they're quite different from the sparkle pens. They'll be explaining the difference to us in a moment, but they are fun. The other thing is they'll go onto lots and lots of different surfaces for you. There's 3 different packs in this collection. Do again check the website for the current stock situation, but you've got your neon lights, you've also got your vibrant florals and the cool elements available in here to you as well. Now, we're talking about odd New Year's traditions, Debbie. Do you want to hear a couple from around the world?
Oh, I'd love it.
Scarecrow burning.
Oh!
In Ecuador. Not real scarecrows, I'll add. Over in Ecuador, many citizens set fire to scarecrows filled with paper at midnight on New Year's Eve, as well as burning any old photographs that represent bad memories. According to age-old tradition, it's thought doing so helps banish any ill fortune or bad things that have happened over the last 12 months. Like that one. I'll read you just another one for now. In Denmark, they like broken plates at New Year. We've got a few Danish viewers here. Hello to you. While it might be famous for the Greeks to smash plates during celebratory occasions, it's popular in Denmark too. In fact, on New Year's Eve, the Danes throw unused plates that have been saved up throughout the year at the front doors of family and friends for good luck. The more plates you find outside your house, the more luck you'll have on New Year. Sounds like a lot of cleaning up to me. And also one more for you. In South America, wearing coloured underwear. It's an everyday tradition. According to tradition, there's a superstition that the colour of your underwear can determine what the new year will bring for you. What if it's a lovely jazzy floral number? That's what I want to know. In South America, such as countries such as Mexico, Bolivia and Brazil, your fortune for the year ahead decided by the colour of your underwear. Those who want to find love wear red underwear. Oh, I'm going home to change. Whilst those hoping for wealth should opt for yellow. If you're looking for peace, white pants should do the trick. There we go. Red, yellow or white, depending on what you're after.
There you go.
Right, glitter markers, Debbie.
Well, it took me back.
I love random international facts. Love a random international fact.
Right, Joe, glitter markers. I adore these. I think they're fabulous. And do you know what? Sometimes when we're coming up to Christmas, we're like, these are great for our Christmas makes. Adding different things onto your makes. But actually, glitter is for me all year round. You can put glitter onto anything. And I really think florals are the way to go for these glitter markers. So let's bring in one of our packs. So this one is our vibrant florals. I love these markers. markers so much. They are full, absolutely jam-packed with really microscopic glitter and amazing pigment. Now these are ultraviolet colours that are just going to blend really well together. They're also water-based glitter markers as well, Joe, which means you can actually put them onto watercolour cardstock and you can blend out with them as well. So I am going to bring in my glitter pen, which I know sounds a bit strange, but I want to keep that glitter going. I've got just one here, which is just a plain piece of card that I've stamped an image onto, and then I'm going to bring in this one, which I had earlier for the watercolouring can, because we can also colour this on as well. Now what I love about it is if, let's say, we want to do, let's just go for a nice pink shelf. So what you're going to do is you're going to give them a shake because they've got a ball bearing in them. You want to mix up all that lovely glitter. What the best thing for me about these, Joe, is the glitter in them is so good. In fact, I'm not going to start with that one first. We're going to start with this one because I want to show you how well these blend together. So let's use, we'll use a pink and let's use a purple. So two different colours, but I want to show you how well they just blend together. So let's give them both a little shake. Shake it to wake it, as I always say, and then we can start laying down that colour. So let's start with our pink. Oh, and I'm going to give you just a little tip. Don't shake it when the lid is off. I did this yesterday and it splatters everywhere. I didn't even realise it did that because it's quite a wet ink that's inside here. And I literally had splatters of glitter marker all over my face.
Oh, gee, that's all you want.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my, I just went, oh. Right, so we're going to start going in. Now, first of all, I'm going to add this. Look at this. Now, the lay down of this is just incredible. Now, I'm just going to do the tips there, and then I'm going to bring in the purple. Oh, like that. Look, like that, Joe. They actually, they're quite, yeah, they're quite juicy. So just be careful when you're taking them off.
You can blend them together, Debbie. Is that what you're doing?
You can blend them together.
Oh, yes. I did not know this.
Oh, yes, they're amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to come in again with this one. Going round. Yeah, they work so well. And it doesn't matter, Joe, what colour you blend together, they will, what colours they are, they will all blend. Now this one is very juicy, so I'm going to actually add this in first and then we will add in that pink.
Now also great for like writing these ones as well, aren't they, Debbie?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if you love your script writing, if you like your stamps that you can stamp with and then add that in over the top, they are incredible.
I'm thinking things like journaling would be awesome with these as well. If you're into journaling and art journaling, you like to doodle, Zentangle, any of those different things.
Zentangling, yes, that would be amazing. So we're just going to finish this one round, but there's so much you can do with them, and because they're water-based, you've got all those different techniques. So you can do colour washes with them, you can add spritz to them. They're just going to be amazing to use. But the lay down of glitter is incredible. So
yeah, and also I love that as they dry, they sort of get more glittery. It's almost like they're like fizzy as they're drying, which is quite fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's bring in a sort of green to do those leaves. And in fact, let's bring in that lighter blue as well, so we can do the leaves in sort of two different colours. So yeah, so a tip there, just because they are quite juicy, just when you're opening them, be more careful, but also have a tissue at hand so you can just blot any extra. So let's bring in a blue on those top ones, and then we will bring the green in just to go down the bottom. So give that a real ombre effect.
And the nibs on these quite different, aren't they, to everything else in our range,
yes,
Debbie?
Very different. They're more solid because they hold that ink beautifully, and they also have to be quite robust because they have a lot of glitter coming through them. But do you know what's lovely about these, Joe? You can't feel it. There's no scratchiness. You can't feel any scratchiness of that. But look at that ombre effect we're getting from that green to blue, and the blend is amazing. Like truly amazing. And again, let's go in with these ones. And you know what, you can just use them on so many different things. These work amazing on like MDF, you know, you get like MDF shapes, little wooden plaques.
I knew we could use the acrylic ones on there. I didn't realise we could use these on MDF as well.
Yeah, you can, absolutely.
So if you've gone for any of our, you know, Dreamies items that we've brought to you, these would be excellent for adding either detailing or actually a full lay down of colour.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you can see, I mean, there's no scratchiness. The lay down is just amazing. And let's just do this last one. So blending that in. Yeah, they're so lovely to use. And again, it's just that mindful colouring, that taking you into a place that just gives you relaxation. And having amazing results afterwards. So if you like glitter, but you don't like the mess, these are definitely the way to go. So let's just do that one in there.
You can just see how shiny and sparkly they are as well.
Oh,
not even catching the light yet, but already you're able to see that incredible lustre that you're getting through them.
Well, when they do catch light, when we give that a wiggle, they are amazing. So popping that in there, we're just going to blend that a little bit more, into there. So popping that in. And I don't need to do a lot because you cannot see. What I love about these, Joe, even though we've got two completely different colours, so look at this.
Ooh,
I mean, it's so beautiful.
Yes, mama.
Yeah, it is absolutely lovely. And considering we've used 4 different colours and opposite colours, you can't see where one colour goes and the next colour stops. So if we go to this one here, we can do the same with colouring onto our mat. So if we do want to just, and what you would do, there's like a pump action on these. So you actually, when you get them, there won't be any colour on your nib. So you will just pump it to wake it up. So pump it down onto here. Now, as you sort of pump it down, if you hold it a little bit, you see more ink starts to come out. So you can actually pump those, and the more you pump, the more you'll get that pool in. You'll get that pool in of colour. So let me just pop that on there, and then let's mix that. Let's have a little bit of that purple because we know we've got quite a juicy one there.
You're quite vigorous for that, Debbie.
We'll have to get it out. Right, so popping that into place, we're then just going to bring in our...
Oh, we're all in a giddy mood. We're all excited for our New Year night out. I think that's what it is, Debbie.
Oh dear. Right, so then I'm going to use my sparkle pen, which is going to just keep that sparkle going. And then we're just going to add that to the bottom. But look how far we can
beautiful.
Then pull this out.
Well, it's like watercolouring with these then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, because they are water-based. And then I'm going to mix a bit of blue in, so let's have a little bit of blue coming around that edge. Yeah, these are spectacular. I mean, really lovely. And look how then we can blend that into that next colour.
I bet using the sparkle pen is amazing as well, because the sparkle in the sparkle pen is different to the sparkle in the glitter marker, isn't it?
Oh,
and
yes.
I think you'll only know what I mean by that when you get them both home and use them, but they definitely have a difference.
Yeah, they have a real difference. And you can, again, you can use your... I can't think what I was going to say there. Just a normal paintbrush.
Right.
So you don't have to use your sparkle brush because you will still get that intensity, Joe. It's just that my sparkle brush is at hand. So we're just going to go in and do those sort of pick up those colours. But your pens are going to go even further now by adding all that extra in there. So let's use one of, so you do get, this set is a great set to have because you've got your cool elements. So you've got all your different sort of background colours here, and we've got those lovely greys. So we can use our greys to actually colour our, let me just give that a shake again, shake them up.
Remember, check the website for these. 3 different options available at the moment. But remember, we have pre-recorded this especially for you for New Year's Day, just so we can be down the pub, basically, isn't it, Debbie?
You what, sorry, Joe?
We've pre-recorded this so we can be down the pub, basically.
Oh, of course, absolutely, yeah.
But do check the website. There's loads of Spectral Noir products over there. A whole range of products for you with some great discounts. All of your consumable elements, all of the tools that you might need. And remember, the winter sale is on at the moment as well, with up to 70% off of a selected line. So absolutely make sure you're checking all of that out over on the website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.eu. Yes, can't wait for New Year's. I've got some more traditions for you for the end of the show as well, Debbie.
Oh, liking that. So just being able to use them down here, picking up that darker element. And when you think about this, Joe, you're getting such a quick lay down of colour in no time at all. Doesn't take long to dry. And then we'll just add some extra. So then if we want to then just go in and intensify, so we have some of that pink running through, I can go directly onto there, just like you would your aqua pens. And then we can just add a little bit to blend that out. So if we don't want that intensity, we can then use that to then pick up that colour. But look how far, I mean, I'm literally using that as my palette, and then we can move that around. These are just amazing to use. So adding in that extra colour, and then let's just go in, let's have an orange. Well, actually we can put that straight to there, can't we? So colour in those, just adding in all those little detail. Yeah, I love these pens so much.
Really beautiful. And also really vibrant. They're almost a little bit opaque, aren't they? They
Yes,
sort of
they
get
are,
the borderline
yeah,
opaque.
Yeah, absolutely. So all we're going to do then is I'm going to bring in that green again to just do these pieces. And we're going to be all glittered. Yeah, such a beauty. These are just, they're very clever in their design, I think, these ones, for the fact that we don't expect them to be watercolour. And then it just opens up a whole amount of different things that we can do with them.
Do you know what as well? I think they're very accessible for people because they are, but they're not a professional marker. They're not like an artist marker. Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly
in their
what you mean,
delivery
yes.
system and in the way they look, they are something that's a lot more accessible, but they still offer you as much functionality of some of our other markers. So I think for younger members of the family, for people that aren't normally used to colouring, these are going to be amazing. That looks incredible.
I know,
so sparkly.
and really sparkly, and it was so quick as well, Joe. So being able to do something that's really quick, add that lay down, add water to it. It's just so many different variations that you can do. So if you love to colour, then that's the way you want to go. The other thing I want to say, do you know, like I've put this ink on here, Joe. I'm going to bring in a spritzer. If you just bring in a spritz, your water, and spritz that, that will activate that colour again. And then go in, and actually I'm just going to use the back of this, go in and pick up that colour, because then you'll get beautiful backgrounds, so you don't lose any of it. And even when you put the sparkle with water, once that dries, you still get the most amazing sparkle. Use that then to do your die cutting out all your flowers and stuff.
Die cutting.
Absolutely, yeah, and it looks beautiful. So nothing goes to waste, and there's just so much that you can do with these pens.
There really, really is. Right, let me just remind you some of the colours that are available. Do check the website for the stock situation. Some more traditions for you, Debbie. Throwing stuff out of windows seems to be really popular around the world.
Oh.
The Italians, they love nothing more than throwing furniture out the windows.
Oh.
I know, luckily, soft furnishings, you'll be pleased to know. But over in Italy, many locals throw out old furniture out the window to symbolise a fresh start for the upcoming year, from cushions to blankets and anything that no longer brings them joy, which be chucked outside. Sounds a lot like littering to me, Debbie.
Oh, yeah.
And in Argentina, tossing paper out of the window is a tradition, apparently. After shredding all of their old documents and papers, the Argentines then throw them out of the window to look like clouds of confetti. According to customs, they shred everything before the curtain falls on the year to symbolise leaving the past behind. Very, very interesting. Right, quickly we're going to have a little look now at the acrylic paint markers. Now these are amazing because they are an acrylic paint. They're in a marker system for you, but they'll go onto so many different surfaces. Lots of different options here for you. This is your jewels, you've got brights, we also have pastels, and we have the essentials for you as well. Debbie, I absolutely love the vibrancy of these, and I think the colours in here are exquisite. But even if you're not a crafter, even if it's not colouring that you want to do with these per se, you know, onto cardboard and colouring images, these are just so handy to have in the cupboard for loads of different uses, aren't they?
Oh, so much so. I think these are just great fun, and they're great for what I love them for more than anything, Joe, is painting stones. There's a thing, isn't there? It's called something, and I can't remember what.
It's called geocaching.
Oh, is that what it's called? Yes.
Yep.
Have you said that already?
Sorry, no.
Oh, you haven't. I thought you'd already said it and I missed it. So,
No.
yeah, and I love that. So people actually draw on stones, don't they? And then they go and hide them somewhere,
Yeah.
and then people find them and they replace them. And
I mean, it's not my idea of fun, but I can see the attraction.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe, I think it's brilliant. Maybe it's because you haven't got children.
Maybe.
Because that
I
is
haven't got
something you do with
children.
children, but actually as an adult, I love it.
No, I'd be sat at home colouring like pretty coasters and bits of MDF for these and stuff like that more so, I think.
Well, that's good as well. Yeah,
Do you know what they
that's
would
good as
be
well.
great for as well? So if you put them on glass, Debbie, can you take them off of glass then afterwards?
You can take them off, yes. So you would need to put them in the oven.
Right, well this is good that they come off because around me a lot of the shop windows and cafes, they have beautiful like doodled art in the windows and they put it right on. But there's nothing to stop you putting some like beautiful drawings, some lovely beautiful flowers on the inside of your children or grandchildren's windows, theming them up. You could do Christmas windows with them if you want to, and then when you're done a little bit cleaner and you're going to be able to take them off again afterwards.
Well,
that'd be lovely.
So what acrylic markers are, acrylic is plastic. They are plastic paints. That's simple as that. So actually, Joe, you would be able to peel them off.
Peel them off,
Yes,
okay.
so on glass, because it would just peel off glass. So actually, if you want to do a glass painting, they would be ideal. Now, if you wanted to, so let's say you wanted to personalise a glass for your mum, and you wanted to write mum on it, you wanted to put some flowers on there, you can then put it into the oven on a really low heat, for about half an hour, but it has to be a low heat just to heat them through, and it will make them heat set.
Oh, okay.
It won't make them dishwasher proof, but it will make them heat proof so you can wash them up.
I've got another idea for you.
Yes.
How about if you've got a guest room, and you've got a mirror in your guest room, every time someone comes to stay with you, you could put, "Hi, Dan and Emily, lovely to have you stay with us. Lots of love."
that.
You know, and then when they go, just wipe it off, forget about it, then put the new one up.
Yes.
I love that.
Oh, I really like that idea. I don't have a guest room to put people in, Joe, but you do.
I've got a guest
Have you
room.
got a
You're
mirror?
coming to stay in it.
I am. Well, I would have already been there.
Sorry. You came 3 days
came
ago.
a few days ago.
How was it? Did you have a nice time in Manchester?
I'm sure it was amazing.
Oh, I bet it was amazing. Oh, I remember when you did that thing, the shame.
I know. I don't know how I did that, Joe. I've drunk all the Baileys. I'm going to do that.
Oh dear.
Right, before we start on the pens, I'm just going to show you some samples of what you can actually do with them. I love this, just creating backgrounds with them. So if you want them into your card making, you can. Stamping with them. How clever is that, Joe? So actually applying these to your stamps and then stamping with them. You can, they are, that's just amazing. Colouring in is just incredible with them. But also things like this. How cute is that?
Oh, love that.
Just colouring in onto wood. It will actually go onto wood. Canvas. This is a piece of canvas. They will colour onto canvas. Add water to them, Joe. Makes them water soluble, and then you can paint with them.
Beautiful.
Because like acrylic paints, these are in a pen. So yeah, and let me just bring this one in. Onto denim fabric. Any fabric you can paint onto. I've got a stone here, so I'm just going to do the paint onto the stone. You can also paint on wood. We've got like a wooden plaque here.
Oh, that's awesome.
So just being able to, it looks the opposite way round, but I'm sure it doesn't to you at home, does it?
Lovely.
Right, so how they work. So we take the pens out. I'm going to take the black marker to start with. So you get this set. Now this one is brilliant to have. You really do need the essential set because you do get your gold, your silver, your white, which is incredible, and your black. Now you just give them a shake again. These sort of pens all have that ball bearing in them, so it's going to shake all that paint to mix it up. And then all we're going to do, you pump this. So just put it down and then you can see that that's coming out there. Once you've got your ink flowing, we're then just going to do ourselves a...
Are you going to do an owl?
No, we're going to do a flower, Joe.
Oh, okay.
I think my days of drawing owls maybe have gone.
We had some MDF owls from Dreamies recently. I nearly got you one sent to you. I thought you'd like that for Christmas.
Right, so a really quick flower there. What I love about these is they give you that outline, which is amazing. They also give you your gauge, your refill, not refill, they're not refillable. They give you a gauge, so when you start to get low on them, you can then get some more. And you can see there's still loads in these, and these are the ones that have been going since we launched them, Joe, and there's still so much ink in these.
Do they dry fairly quickly as well, Debbie?
Yeah, they dry really quickly.
Right.
The other thing with them, Joe, is they are opaque, which means you can layer on them. I could go over this black, I'm not going to, but you'll see, even if I go over those edges, it layers over the black. Because they're layerable and they're opaque, they will go on to each other. So you can clear up mistakes, you don't need to worry where they are. And you can just do really good designs. So I'm just going to do a couple more, and then I'll show you what I mean by being able to layer on them. They don't take long to dry at all. In fact, they're really quickly. They're sort of touch dry within minutes. And then you can go in. So let's say I want to go in with this yellow one. And we can actually then start putting different designs on here. So if I just want to go in and put I needed to let that dry a bit more, but you can sort of go over the top of these.
Really nice to have the option to do that.
Yeah, so here we're starting to.
Debbie, we're nearly out of time. Can you believe
my goodness,
it?
yeah. So that you can see, absolutely beautiful, and they're amazing. I love them.
Yeah, they are absolutely fabulous. What a great show it's been. I'm going to leave you with one more random fact, Debbie.
Oh, please.
In Romania, talking to animals is customary at a New Year. Over in Romania, yeah, farmers spend their New Years communicating with their livestock. Apparently, if they succeed, good luck comes their way. Well, I hope it's a lovely New Year for you. I hope the next year is full of love and prosperity and successfulness and all those other wonderful things. Debbie, have a great New Year. It was lovely to spend time with you in the studio, as it always is.
Happy New Year to everyone. It's just going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, a good year for everyone and a great year for Crafters TV.
Yes, absolutely. Happy New Year. I'll see you next year. Have a great New Year. Have wonderful celebrations. Don't drink too much. Drink responsibly. Don't spill it. Bye.